Okay, guys, so welcome to my channel. So I wanted to really talk about evictions. And I've been really interested in a lot of these evictions that's been going on because I think it's really sad to see people get put out of their place. But this whole situation right here, guys, I'm telling you, it's crazy because they said this is a $500,000 house eviction, and the tenant was late. They owe $29,000. So I don't know why they would think they would be so comfortable living here, knowing that they like a lot of these tenants. Oh my god, y'all! A lot. This is what y'all have to understand. When you're getting evicted and things like that, and they say, "Hey, you have this amount of time," or I see you're going through the process. Your best bet is to pay rent. Even if you're not paying it to the landlord, you can go down to escrow and you can put it in there and pay for it that way. But you don't ever want to be in a situation like this and just not paying anything. I mean, $29,000. There's no way in your mind to think that everything will be good and everything. You're basically staying for free. And a lot of these tenants, they always have a lot of excuses. Oh, I didn't get anything in the mail. Well, if it's going on so many days or almost a month, you should be doing your own research. You should be checking up on it yourself. You can't always expect for these places and these places that deal with rent and things like that, and even the places that deal with child support and stuff like that. You can't put all your faith in them. They're not. A lot of them mess up too. They're not perfect down there. And they have a lot of, I'm sure they got more caseloads than just you that owe rent, and that they get back in all those caseloads, and they probably sometimes they forget. So you have to be on it on your side too. So this couple definitely should have been doing their own calling down there and see what's going on with their situation with the rent, because you just can't sit there in the house knowing that you owe $29,000 back rent and think that everything's gonna be cool and fine. You're just sitting there for free. You're living up at what is it, a $500,000 house, and you're living there for free. I can just imagine how much they were spending in mortgage, to pay for these houses. But a lot, but maybe they live beyond their means. It seems like to me they live beyond. They picked this house, and they were living beyond their means, and stuff got tough, and they couldn't foot the bill. See, that's what I'm saying with a lot of people, a lot of regular people, and they get in certain positions where they're making a lot of money, and then they just think that they can run to $1 million house and everything's gonna be cool and fine. You have to continue to make that money, because any slip or grip and they reduce your pay, you're not gonna be able to pay for this. Like these people aren't millionaires. Because believe me, if they were millionaires like that, they would be able to pay their rent on time all the time. Most of them people that have money like that, they have where they can automatically take out of an account. They don't pay. They pay their bills, but it's automatic. Once the rent is due, it's automatic. They have everything connected. Everything is automatically taken out so that they know. And I'm sure that if you're smart, you'll call down there and be like, hey, did my payment go through? And they be like, yeah, your payment went through. You always have to do that. Even my husband does that sometimes. He will call down, even though he know it went through, he will still call down there to make sure it went through, because you gotta understand the banks are handling a lot of accounts. Can you just imagine how many accounts these big corporation banks own and are responsible for? Like, come on, it's a lot of work. So I think they messed themselves up because they weren't responsible. These two people were not responsible. You're gonna see, and I started it on this part of the video because the wife was saying that he has a heart condition, and they have kids in the house. But I told you guys before, it doesn't matter if you have kids. I think a lot of times people and these tenants try to use these kids for pawns to get sympathy, and there's no sympathy in this. I mean, if you're back in rent, you're back in rent. It doesn't matter if you have a cute little newborn or baby that looks so precious. You got to get out, and it's sad because I don't like to see kids being. I don't like to see nobody get put out of it of their house. But when it comes to kids, it really make me sad to see because the kids are so innocent, and to see the kids is they shouldn't be stressed out in these type of situations. No kid should be stressed out and upset and crying and stuff because the little girl in this house, she's old enough to know what's going on, and I think it was both of these adults' responsibility. They didn't do what they were supposed to do on their end, and now it's come to most of the time. Like you're gonna hear the man in this video, they don't have nothing to do with your court case. Their only job is to come there and put you out. They don't know any, most of the time, they don't even know anything about the court case. Their job is to come and get all of your stuff out so the next person can come out and they can rent and the landlord can get that money. That's the only thing that they trying to get to, and so they can get paid too. It's all about doing your job and getting paid for it. So this is what's going on in this video, and I'm going to show you guys right here what you do not want to do. And I know everybody, sometimes it's hard to stay it's hard to stay neutral in these situations when somebody's coming in and taking your stuff and putting it outside. But you definitely want to act neutral. You want to be calling whoever you can call. This man wasted a lot of time talking to the eviction guy when he could have been on the phone calling to get somebody to come get his stuff and pick it up. But you'll see. I'm going to play it. And I can understand where the guy. So that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to be violent to the eviction person that's coming. They're only coming to do their job, and a lot of times they don't know what's going on until you tell them what's going on. And anyway, other than that, there's nothing that they can do. Like they have to start removing your stuff. That's their job. But I ain't like how the lady was in the back, like she was instigating it. She wasn't doing anything to help. She was just sitting there like somebody's gonna come in there and just be like, "Oh, y'all can stay because of the baby." She was trying to use her little grandchild or whoever it was to manipulate the eviction guy. She just wasn't a help at all. She just really was trying to instigate a lot of stuff, and I don't know. She definitely needs to. I don't know what she was doing. She really wasn't a help to anything. She didn't know where nothing was up. And if you know you're going through a eviction like this, guys, have all your paperwork in a place where if they do come, you could show them the paperwork, even though that's not going to do anything. You will have to call. But they should have been calling down to that court almost each and every day, or at least a week after we call down there and see what's going on. Hey, what's going on? I was supposed to get a paper in the mail. I did not get a paper in the mail. I need to know what's going on because I know how this goes. I know that the eviction man is probably on his way, so I need to know what's going on. And I'm sure they will, but yeah, the paperwork is coming. Well, and then you explain to them, well, what happens if he come? What am I supposed to do? Because you just have to get down to the information that you need so these type of things don't happen. Because if they would have did it the right way, they could have called the people and be like, look, the eviction people are here, they trying to put me out. And they probably would have talked to them, but hey, they're not, we haven't sent them the court date or anything, so you cannot move their stuff. And then they will explain to them and they will talk to them, and this wouldn't even be going on. But since they did not do that, they just sat in the house knowing that they owe all this rent money. That's a lot of rent money to us. That's a lot of rent money to owe $29,000, and you just sitting up in there like everything's cool and fine. See, she don't know where. Look, you see how she doing, and the baby upset. Lady, they don't care about the baby. You trying to get all. I think it was her plan to get all the sympathy, from this kid. Because look, he even asked her, "Where's this? Where's that?" She don't know where nothing's at. All she's trying to get is all this sympathy. Talk about the baby's upset. Lady, they don't care about that. Do you understand? They don't care if you have children. You can just have given birth to a child. But if you're not paying your rent and you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, you got to get out of there. And she's not helping anything. She's making it worse. Like, the lady, go sit down somewhere because you're not helping him. You're not helping by crying and running around this big old gigantic house that you guys, really could not afford. You put your I think your eyes were bigger than what you really saw you could afford. And a $500,000 house, a lot of people can't afford that. A lot of people can't afford that. And I just think that, it probably was a time where they could afford it, and they probably was doing good on their payments and stuff. But then stuff started, the COVID and all that stuff started coming, and people couldn't work and things like that. And that's why, what I'm saying, you have to have a back plan. Even if you get $1 million home, if you had money like that, yeah, you ain't got to worry about nothing like that. But if you just going on a whim, and you get money and you don't have a plan of action. Oh, what happens if the payments get high, or what happens if something happens and I can't work? You always have to have a backup plan. I don't think they had a backup plan, and it's really sad because I really feel bad. I feel bad for all of them, but I don't like how she's trying to get this a sympathy card because there's a kid in the house. Like, come on, lady. She don't know nothing. Yeah, the eviction guy, he is a nice guy, and I've seen him do other I've seen him do other evictions, and he's not the type that want to see people put out of their place. He tries to work with them, but this guy right here, you try to get a little violent and stuff with him, and you think he's supposed to treat you nice. Like, come on, dude. Like, you two didn't do what you were supposed to do on your part. You guys sat in that house. You did not call down there to see what was going on with the case. You just sat there knowing you owed all this money. Like, I don't even know how your brain could even think that everything was cool and fine. And you sitting here living in a $500,000 house. Like, how does that work? You're living in there for free. The celebrities can't even do that. So what makes you think that you're gonna do that? Yeah, this. Mm-mm, uh-uh. Lady, go sit down somewhere. This is crazy. He got heart problems. He can't see, and he's doing all the work. She's not doing nothing. Yeah, guys, and most of the time, like most of the time with most of these situations when you're going through stuff like this and you try to call somebody, most of the time they're not even gonna pick up. They are not even gonna pick up. They don't even pick up. Like when you really need people to be there, they never pick up. It's crazy. It's crazy how it always works out like that. But we'll see if he get in contact with anybody. Let's see. I told you they weren't gonna answer. Lady, go somewhere. You talking about please what? You're not helping the situation. That not care about no kid. No, you should have been more responsible, lady. Yeah, yeah. Just like you said, you should have had this all taken care of. You guys just sat in the house like everything was so good. You guys sat there. You guys were not responsible adults. If you owe that much rent, you should be on that almost each and every day, calling down there. I haven't got anything in the mail. When am I going to get it? Because I know they're coming to put our stuff out. And you should have a backup plan. You should have most of that stuff. If you weren't sure, you should have most of that stuff packed up. That's why a lot of times when I move like that, guy, I don't have a lot of stuff. That's why it's good to not have a lot of stuff in your house because when it comes to moving and stuff, you gotta move all that stuff out. It's a headache to move. I don't know about anybody else, but for me, it's a headache to move. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. It's a headache. It's stressful to move. So I can understand. I mean, if you look at this house is decked out, like it has a lot of stuff in it. And I just think if they could have packed up a little bit of this stuff, it wouldn't have been so hard for when the people really came because there's no way that, when you're going, there's no way that they didn't know that their time was almost up because when they give you, they're supposed to. They're supposed to let you know when they're coming, to take your stuff. When's your last day? When's your cutoff that? Now, if they didn't tell them, yeah, y'all need to talk to a bigger somebody bigger and talk to them about what's going on and let them know, look, nobody told us that we had this many days. They're supposed to tell you all of that information. And I think that they did tell them that, but they just thought because they had that court case that everything was going to be fine and dandy. But let me tell you something, it don't matter if you have a court case. It don't matter if you have any kind of bankruptcy stuff. Either you have to keep paying the rent or you got to get out. It's either or. And I just think they didn't understand what was going on, and maybe they weren't explained right. But sometimes you just gotta do your own research. That's why I love the research. You guys gotta do your own research so you can know your own laws. You can't you can't depend upon all these other people to do it for you. Now she's saying she didn't know they was coming, but no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't believe that they got it. They have to let you know how many days you have before it's time for you to get out, or you can win that. You can win that case. Bottom line, it ain't no way that they didn't know how many more days they had left to stay in that house. There's no way. They have to tell you that. And if they don't, they can get in trouble for not telling you that. And you'll practically win your case every time. They cannot hide that information from you. That's not how the law works. And I think that both of them knew how much longer they had, but they just tried to stay there and push it because they thought that that court case was going to hold everything back so they could stay longer. But like you said, in this situation, it don't. If you're on the block for eviction, they come in whether you have a court case or not. So you could hear the guy in the background yelling at somebody, talking about you gonna throw me out because of $29,000. So how much was this? Well, this is a $500,000 house eviction, but dang, I mean, how much? Let me see on my phone. How much is the mortgage on a $500,000 house? How much is the mortgage on a $500,000 house? Oh, okay. So it says the monthly payment is usually $6,653, but they weren't paying. So if you're not paying, your interest can calculate up to around 69,678. Theirs is at 29,000. So that's probably a lot of not interest and not paying the rent. But you see him yelling out there talking about you gonna really kick me out because of 29,000. Yeah. I am. What is wrong with people? Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, you can hear him in the background saying, "You really gonna throw my stuff out like that?" Like he doesn't owe a lot of a lot of mortgage. Like, come on, dude. Like, come on. Yeah, Poppy said, "You ready?" Now, see, he could have been like those other people that don't care if it's raining and put this stuff out. But that you can tell the eviction guy, he's not the kind of guy that want to do stuff like that. But it's his job, and you see him say, "Hold off on." But hey, Poppy ready. Poppy ready to put. Poppy ready to put it out, and he don't care. Oh wow, that's the owner. Wow, that's the owner on the side, and yeah, he is right. A lot of times when the owner do come, they get really animated, and they mad at the owner. But how can you be mad at somebody? I actually gave you a place to stay because these owners don't have to give you these places. These owners can be like, no, no, I'm not gonna rent you the place. No, no, I'm not gonna rent you the place. But these owners out here actually be giving people answers, and he looks like he's a pretty nice guy. He looks like he was working with them and they just took advantage of that. And then they get mad when they see the owner like, oh, they want to beat you up and stuff. How you gonna beat me up and you owe me money? I let you slide. It's been so many landlords that let these tenants slide and they own 6 months of rent and all this other stuff. And they just want to beat them up and call them slumlords and do all this reckless stuff when the real is really a lot of slum tenants. Let's talk about slum tenants. A lot of people want to talk about slumlords. Let's talk about slum tenants. Like, come on now. But yeah, that's the owner over there. And he's like, "Look, I'm willing to leave if it's better for me to leave, and it's faster for you to get their stuff out of my property, so I can rent it to somebody that really is more responsible. Then I will leave." He has worked with you. It was crazy because first time that he came, he was like, "Man, give me 30 minutes." Then he was like, "Okay, and give me 15 minutes." Now he need. It's just more minutes and more minutes and more minutes. Like y'all have to get out. Like y'all don't understand. Y'all have to get out of the house. Y'all have to go. These people. This ain't the only eviction. I'm sure he got on his paper. He probably got more evictions to do for that day. So he's trying to get this one out of the way so they can start to do more. But he just want all this time. He want when you guys weren't putting up the time or the responsibility to make sure this did not happen. So guys, I'm not gonna go through the whole video. I just wanted to go through some of it. I would like to see what at the ending. Let's see what happens. What is up with all these ads? Like, good lady, go sit down some daggone way with somebody. So, guys, that was it. I don't know what happened with the whole situation. Um, Let me stop sharing the screen. I don't know what happened with the whole situation, guys, but I don't know. I really can't tell you what happened with the situation, but what I can tell you is that if you are ever in a situation like that, and to stay out of a situation like this is to do your own research. Do your own research. Call down there, see what's going on. If it's been a couple weeks, call down there and see what's going on with your case. You just can't sit there and lay there and think that they're just going to do everything from the bottom up. Those people have millions and thousands of evictions and cases that they need to look through and court cases that they need to do. And sometimes yours ain't at the top, and sometimes it might get lost in the sauce. So yeah, that was definitely a crazy one right there, guys. But I'm gonna be doing a little bit more. I'm gonna be doing a lot of eviction reaction videos because I really want to show people um that you have to be responsible in a lot of these situations. You have to be a responsible adult, and please stop thinking because you have kids, you have cute little kids and newborns that they will not throw you out. I have seen plenty of evictions where kids and newborn babies have been thrown out of the house. They don't care. They care about moving you out and moving somebody else in that's more responsible that can pay for their mortgage or rent. Now, I'm not saying that those people couldn't pay for their mortgage. Maybe you never know what happened. Maybe some tough times that happen. Everybody goes through that. But if you know you're on the loophole of something happening like this, you have to do your part too, and you have to be a responsible adult to figure out what's going on. You figure out your B plan, your C, D, E, F, G, on down to the next. Those plans don't stop. People say, oh, you need a B plan or you need a C plan. No, you need all plans. You need it down to Z, because sometimes A, B, C don't add up and don't work out. So you have to have all avenues of what you're going to do if you're ever in a case like this, especially when there's kids involved. They should have definitely been more alert and more consumed and more connected to what's going on with their court case because you have kids in that home. I think they were their grandkids. So guys, when you do come in, please like, subscribe my channel. Also hit that bell notification so you can know each and every time I upload a new video. I love you guys. Always thinking about you. Until next time, it is your girl Reset Me, and I will see you guys in another video. Peace.